Hello, everyone. Dr. Marion Reven here to talk to you today about the treats and the treats RG. These are quality appraisal checklists and reporting guidelines for aromatherapy and essential oil research. First, I'm going to share my screen and we will go through a brief PowerPoint. So yeah, today we're going to talk about the treats and the treats RG. And these are brand new, uh, just published in 2024 about the treats, and the treats RG is on the way. So, as I said, my name is Dr. Marion Reven. You can call me Marnie, and I'm the president and founder of the ARQAT, the Aromatic Research Quality Appraisal Task Force. Where did that come from? I've been a nurse for many, many years, and I like essential oils and aromatherapy, and I really want to use them in my patient population. But I found that that was difficult with the evidence base in the research. I went back to school, I got my PhD, and while I was doing my studies and wanting to do an aromatherapy focused study in humans, I found that the quality of the studies that I was finding, while they were really good in many ways, in other ways, I couldn't figure out what essential oils they were using. I couldn't figure out what the dose was that they were using. And I really was having a hard time replicating those studies. And as I looked into it, I found that indeed I was not alone. So, talk about the journey of making these tools and then also show you the tools. I hope that you'll enjoy this. So, what is treats and treats RG? I'm going to answer that question more thoroughly, why you might want to use these and how to use them. So, TREAT stands for the Transparent Reporting for Essential Oil and Aromatherapeutic Studies Checklist. RG for Reporting Guideline. So the TREATS was created in between 2021 and 2023. And this was a task force effort. So this was calling all hands on deck. How do we know what to put into studies where we use aromatherapy and essential oils? And we couldn't find a checklist. If you want to know more about please go to our website, which is arcot.org, and I'll give the address here shortly. But anyway, so when we got together, we actually came up with something called treats, and we created a checklist, which I'll share. The treats RG came a little bit later, and in fact, the study just ended last spring, and we are in the process of writing this up. And it used a Delphi consensus method. So it used something more scientific and a more rigorous method to create the reporting guideline. And the other is a quality appraisal checklist. And they are both good, and you can use either one. So, but why use these tools? So we're not alone in this. There's 700 quality appraisal checklist, reporting guideline type things out there. I'm probably underestimating it, but there's a ton because it's recognized in the scientific literature that reporting can be a real problem and not always clear at all. Quality appraisal checklists and reporting guidelines are designed for the following: to support clear and complete reporting and communication of the methods, the findings, and things like that. It provides a checklist that can help a person, a researcher, a reviewer, a reader of research see what might be missing in a study. And it applies mainly to the methods and results section in a study. I have to put this that these tools don't impact your creativity. You can be as creative as you want to be. You'll choose your rationale for your research or why you want to read some research, and you determine your methods And the checklist just then helps ensure that you don't miss anything, which is really handy because when you get into a study or you read a long research study, you can't see the forest for the trees sometimes. So the treats itself has 38 items in 4 sections: the essential oils, the application, the intervention, and the olfaction. And I'm going to run you through these checklists, but as you can see, items 1 through 8 are about the essential oils, 9 through 16 topical, 17 through 23 about inhalation, 24 through 20, no, through 30 is your intervention. And then 31 through 38 is about olfaction, or how you smell things and how your body actually takes all this in, your preferences, biases, things like that. And the treats RG ended up with 25 consensus-based items. And this came from that checklist from the treats when it was like the items on the survey for the Delphi came from the treats plus others. There were more than that to pick from, all of the researchers and academics to pick from, but they ended up with 25 items in the end. So 4 sections are the same, and you can see that the numbers are just a little bit different. So the choice is yours, which checklist or tool you use, and please visit us at arqat.org to download these. Right now, the treats is up there. And then email us at info.org for more information. Right. As I come out of that, I will begin to show you some of these checklists. This is the treats. And as it says, in addition to conventional research reporting guideline, research involving essential oils and aromatherapy has to meet certain criteria for clear and complete reporting so it can be reproduced. And if you want more, well, in order to use this tool properly, you're also going to use the explanatory statement document, which I will show you. So to use this tool, you just fill out a few things, and you can use it online or you can print it out. Okay. First section is about essential oils, many details. Section 2A and 2B are about topical and inhalation. Could you use this if you had a study that used internal methods? Yes. You will still need to put in things like, was there dilution and what was the dose? No BSA, but how frequent was it and the duration? So, like almost every checklist or tool, this can be adjusted to meet wherever you are in your creative research or whatever you're reading in creative research. So this can be used in creation or critique of somebody else's study. The aromatic intervention itself, what did they do and how did that go? The rationale, the conceptual theoretical framework, was a professional aromatherapist consulted. Safety, report of allergic and adverse reactions, and how were the essential oils stored. And then olfactory function, anosmia, or previous use of essential oils. And then, what did they prefer things? Did they were they able to recognize smells and things like that? All important points. Previous iterations of this checklist included a yes, no, and partial. But at this point, with much feedback from many people, we have decided to go more along a traditional checklist format, and just you would put the page number where you found it and any comments about what you saw or what you need to do or what they did or did not include. And this is your citation. And yes, this was published in 2024. So at the bottom of all of our checklist tools, we do have a date. So we want you to check the date and make sure that you use the most current um, version. And then these are all Creative Commons protected, so please do not use them for your own monetary gain. But for us, we would appreciate a donation on our website if you are going to use our tools, only because, there's no other funding for this organization. Okay, so that's the treats. Now let's take a look. And this is the explanatory statement document for the treats. Let's take a look at this. Just to let you know that there's all kinds of explanation for each item, and there are examples. At the very bottom of this document, you will see that there are references for everything. So you can check those, and those may give you some insights as well as the other parts of this document. The treats RG is very similarly formatted to the treats itself. Some extra things we put here, it's because this is more this is meant to go to a very wide audience worldwide, and we want it to be known as an extension to tools such as the consort. The consort here is the consolidated standards of reporting trials. You could use it in addition to things like the Spirit and many other reporting guidelines. We've included the Equator website information here, as well as the ARQAT information. This is all similar at the top. I do want you to see that the addition of a title, which is in a lot of reporting guidelines. What did they include in the title? Page number, probably number 1. But anyway, your comments could be, say they added one essential oil and they just called it lavender, and the other one they called citrus aurantium or something. So they used the common and the Latin binomial, but they should have some standardization there and be telling you the common and the Latin binomial. And anyway, titles can be short, but we want to see the most information there. And you can take a look through here. As I said, it is shorter, only 25 items. A couple of things I'll point out here. It kept the professional aromatherapists worldwide. They said, yep, you need to have that. If you're going to report an aromatic study using essential oils in humans, we're talking about so many features of human beings, and that a professional aromatherapist can give you all kinds of insights into those things. And they're in every country in the world, I believe, with the exception of few. So look them up, go online. And then olfactory functions really cut down. And okay, so say you're critiquing a study, and it's very important if indeed they have had previous biases to essential oils, or you need to know if they even like them, then use the checklist tool, the original treats. The treats RG, yeah. Anyway, you can add other items to this. You can put it in the comments. But we just know that with the rigorous design of the treats RG, we feel like the publishers, the editors, and the reviewers that are from the big worldwide international peer-reviewed journals, that they would trust these items more, that actually made it into the checklist by consensus. The citation we have for you at the moment is the protocol, and as soon as we have this published, then we would add that citation. All right. And this is the explanatory document for the treats RG, which I won't go into because it's very similar to the treats one. So one thing that we wanted to share was what happened, what changed between the treats and the treats RG. So what we've got is a column with the treats. We've got a column with the RG, and then we've got a few different colors. If it's purple in here, it means it's only found in the treats RG. Okay, so there's just a few things in here. In fact, there's only two. Anything that's treats only is no shading. Okay, and just the treats over here. Anything that made it into both, which is the majority, is in green. So this can help you decide which one you want to use and what happened as we used a convenient sample of people that we knew were more involved in aromatherapy. And then the sample that we used that was researchers, academics, people who had published worldwide, uh, and the aromatic people as well. So there was quite the change, and it was a great study. So we look forward to publishing that and introducing you to that. So let me go ahead and pull back up this again. And just as I finish up, I want to let you know that we are here for you. If you would like to talk about a study that you found or a study that you would like to do, please reach out to us. If we can't help you ourselves, perhaps we can point you in the right direction as to where you can go. But I just thank you today for your time and attention to this. It's been great talking to you, and we look forward to working with you, researching with you, and just improving the quality of aromatic research over the next 10, 20, 30 years. All right.